Your attitude and a willingness to help everybody in her team or not in her team has made an icon in the business that many look up to, including myself. Okay. Not only has she left her corporate job to do Juice Plus full time, she's retired her husband in his corporate job, who's now in the business, who's like smashing it. Like, who does that? Okay. So it's an absolute honour and it's a privilege, and I'm so thankful she's come this way to speak at this event. And my advice to you guys, if you've got a bit of pen and paper, write down what she says. If you haven't, listen to what she says, because she's walking the walk and talking the talk. She knows what she's on about. She's on her way to being a millionaire after 2 years. So if you're serious about this, and you've got a strong enough why, listen to this woman. Guys, please give it up for Emma Sneddon.
Hi guys, welcome back from lunch. Do you know what? Thanks for the graveyard slot, Scott. Everyone comes back full bellies, but do you know what? That's fine. At least you did come back. How good was this morning? Absolutely awesome. I hope you got loads out of that. I know I certainly did. I'm incredibly proud of each and every one of you that spoke this morning. Natalie, Johnny, Kerry, Hayley, Scott, Steve. Oh, there's always one that you forget. You know, it's not easy to stand up here in front of, particularly in front of your team, I think, and the people that you are hoping to inspire and influence and motivate. It can be very daunting. I personally find it harder to speak in front of the people that I know than the people that I don't, if that makes sense, because your expectations get higher and higher and higher as you get further through the business. Right, before I start, I'm just waiting for the last few people to come in, roll the calypso. I just want you to watch this video. It's very short, but it's extremely important, and hopefully you'll understand why.
The world is changing faster than ever. What used to take decades is now taking years or even months.
What you see right now is the illusion that people have had for many decades about the workplace being this secure place to work the rest of your life.
The first time in the history of our nation, our children will not do as well as us.
We've seen our friends get laid off, we've been laid off, we've had our pay cut.
People are overworked and underpaid. They seem to have less time and less freedom. They live under constant pressure.
This is going to be forced. And so even if your employer loves you, they may have to cut you. There's something wrong that on Monday morning, the heart attack rate increases by 35%.
Technology is accelerating, job security is declining. It just doesn't seem like the old models of making a living are as reliable as they used to be. Every aspect of our lives, there's a better way out there, but we're still doing it the old way.
We live in the greatest country on the planet, and there are a lot of people sitting around complaining and being cynical.
Like everyone's whining about this old model, and I'm like, why don't you leave it? Look at all this over here, look at all this opportunity.
Since so much of our lives revolve around our work and the way we make our living, many people are thinking there just has to be a better way.
The biggest challenge facing our world today is not making money, is what are we going to do with all the displaced unemployed people?
People are afraid that they're going to make the wrong decision. People are afraid of the unknown. People are afraid that maybe I don't have the skills.
Hey, sports fans, industrial age is dead over, it's dead, it's dying. That's why going to school to get a job is an obsolete idea. A steady paycheck is an industrial age idea.
I'm going to play that one more time, because I watch this every single morning before I do anything else, because I'm proud of what we're doing to change the world. And that might sound like a really big thing, but watch it again and be really proud of what you're involved in and what you're creating for the future generations that we're bringing up behind us. So watch it again and really concentrate. It's 2 minutes.
The world is changing faster than ever. What used to take decades is now taking years or even months.
What you see right now is the illusion that people have had for many decades and about the workplace being the secure place to work the rest of your life.
For the first time in the history of our nation, our children will not do as well as us.
We've seen our friends get laid off. We've been laid off. We've had our pay cut.
People are overworked and underpaid. They seem to have less time and less freedom. They live under constant pressure.
That's just going to be forced. And so even if your employer loves you, they may have to cut you. There's something wrong that on Monday morning, the heart attack rate increases by 35%.
Technology is accelerating, job security is declining. It just doesn't seem like the old models of making a living are as reliable as they used to be. Every aspect of our lives, there's a better way out there, but we're still doing it the old way.
We live in the greatest country on the planet, and there are a lot of people sitting around complaining and being cynical.
Like everyone's whining about this old model of it. I'm like, why don't you leave it? Look at all this over here. Look at all this opportunity.
Since so much of our lives revolve around our work and the way we make our living, many people are thinking there just has to be a better way.
The biggest challenge facing our world today is not making money, is what are we going to do in order to displace unemployed people?
People are afraid that they're going to make the wrong decision. People are afraid of the unknown. People are afraid that maybe I don't have the skills.
Hey, sports fans, industrial age is over. It's dead. It's dying. That's why going to school to get a job is an obsolete idea. A steady paycheck is an industrial age idea.
Okay, do you feel that here when you watch it? I want you to, that is just a YouTube clip. There's actually a 50-minute documentary that's a trailer for it. Those of you that have been my team, your upline will have got, I bought something like 500 copies of that when I was in Vegas in November, and I've given all my NMDs in my business a copy. So somewhere in your upline there will be somebody with a copy. If not, let me know and I'll get one for you. You have got to watch that, because it's so fundamental that you completely understand what we're doing here. You know, the company that you're in is incredible. The Juice Plus company is the best company in the world. The product is the best product in the world. Of that I have absolutely no doubt, and I hope that you don't have any doubt about that either. But it's so, so important that you understand the industry that we're in too. Because the industry we're in is that. It is changing people's lives every single day, not for today, but for the future. So a lot of people, we get involved in this business, you know, Johnny said it earlier, for the money for ourselves almost, or for our immediate family. As my journey's gone on, and I'm only in my 3rd year in the business, 3 months into my 3rd year in the business, I feel it every single day, the obligation to share this opportunity with everybody that I meet, with everybody that I don't meet, people that I don't even know. And that's what drives me every day. No matter, when you feel that, when you get up in the morning, when you feel an obligation to help somebody have a better life, to help somebody dig themselves out of a financial hole that they might be in, I look at my children and I think, what is the future for those guys? Like, they're 7 and 5 and 17. You know, what does their future look like 10 years from now? What's that going to look like? We were in WH Smith's this morning in the airport. There's not even any staff anymore. You scan your own shopping these days. That's not going to change. They're not suddenly going to introduce a whole load of call centre staff to answer the phone. You know, that's not going to change. The unemployment situation is not going to change. So we, as a nation now, as a group of people in this room, have got a responsibility to do something to create a better future for the people that are coming up behind us. And that's what you're here for, really. All the other stuff is brilliant. You know, all the stuff that you get personally from it is amazing. I'm going to cover some of that as well. but I really want you to take away from this part of the day a true, proper understanding of the impact that little old you and little old me can have on a big old world, and it is massive. If you're anywhere within my team, so anywhere in James's downline or Scott's downline, can you stand up for me, please?
Jesus.
Okay, I just want to say a massive, massive thank you to all of you, and well done for getting involved. Just sit back down, thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause. The reason I did that is because I started as just me, and I have never been to Bournemouth in my life. Oh no, tell a lie, once I came to swim in Bournemouth when I was about 13. So the impact that you can have on the people that you've never even met, I would suggest that out of all of those people that stood up, before I joined the Juice Plus company, I have not met any single one of you. Andrea. Okay, so Andrea, who's in my team from Southampton, we met over in Portugal on holiday when she was a baby, she had a little baby with her. That's the power of the impact that you can have on people that you have not even met yet. And guys, we have not even got started. Not even got started. You're going to hear from Alex later on, who's been in the business over 20 years. And he hasn't even really got started either. I've seen a big shift in Alex in the last few years. He's had a kick up the bum. Okay, so are you ready? Are you ready? Now, you've got to make a decision, guys. What level are you going to play at? If you're going to do this, and you're going to be a professional network marketer, right? You've got to decide what level you're going to play at, because I'll tell you now, if you're going to potter around the edges, or I'm going to give it a go, or I'll see what happens, or you might as well forget it now. Because if you try and do something, the chances are you're not going to do it, because in your head, you're just trying. This is about do it or don't do it. You know, if you want to have massive, massive success in this business, whatever it's for, whether it's to change other people's lives, or change your own life, or change your children's lives, or give better health to the people that you can, whatever it is, you have got to decide that that's what you're going to do. So I hear it when I bring new people into the business, I hear that, you know, we all were a little bit scared. You know, they talked about that, people are afraid. They're afraid of failure. They're afraid of success. They're afraid no one will join the business. They're afraid what happens if somebody does join the business. I don't know what to do with them then. I'm afraid no one will take the product. I'm afraid that if someone does take the product, they won't get the results that they want. I'm afraid that my family will tell me not to do it. I'm afraid. Everyone's afraid. We're all afraid when we start. But why not be afraid of what will happen if you don't do it? What will happen if you don't share the product with somebody who really needs it in their life? What will happen if you don't share this business opportunity with somebody who really needs it in their life? So stop being afraid of what will happen if you do, and start being afraid of what will happen if you don't.
Nice.
And decide what level you want to play at. My suggestion, you jump in with both feet and you swim like hell until you get to where you want to be, because that is the only way that you're ever going to succeed at anything. I love this, and it's from, you know, I'm a massive Eric Borey fan. I'm a massive fan of people outside of the Juice Plus company. We can learn a lot from people who have been doing network marketing for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. I've got a great relationship with a guy called Richard Brooks Bliss, who wrote the 4-year career. He's been in network marketing for 37 years. 37 years. Like, don't write off what you can learn from people who've been doing what you are doing, who are where you want to be. This company, without a shadow of a doubt, is better than any other out there. I know that for a fact. But I also know that we can all learn from other people. But you've got to do this. How many people invited somebody today that didn't come? What if you invited 2 people that didn't come? 3 people didn't? Yeah, it's just like 15, 20, 50, 60, 100 people. I invited about 15 people. Most of them didn't come. The difference between you guys and those guys is you just said yes. And my entire business has been built on this. Say yes, tell the world, figure it out. I never have a babysitter, I never have anyone to look after the kids. I usually was working full time when I was building my business, and I just said yes, I'll be there, yes, I'll be there, yes, I'll come and meet you, yes, I'll have a one-to-one with you, yes, I'll do that event, and then I worked it out later. I'm going to really quickly, before I continue, just tell you my story because it's relevant for those of you who don't know it. Because the industry I was in was the industry that those guys were talking about in that video. And I hope for some of you, if not you then, if you're younger than that, then your parents will be in that environment where they will have been in that environment where they're working for a paycheck. Turn up, get paid, turn up, get paid. You know, no one really cares in that environment about you, generally. Until I got involved in this business, no one ever asked me what I wanted, what my hopes, dreams and aspirations really were. They might have known what my next promotion was going to be, but not anything about me or who I was or what I wanted until I joined this company and people like John and Alex sat down with me and said, well, what do you want out of your life? I was like, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. So the light bulb moment for me, I want to share with you now, and I want you to do the same while I tell you it. So put yourself, you're in your car and you're driving home from work, and it is 5 o'clock, if you're lucky, 5 o'clock. You're probably going to pick your kids up, or you're late for the gym, and you're feeling disappointed. Day hasn't gone very well, boss has been a bit of a heel. And you haven't got a promotion that was promised to you. You have done everything that you thought you needed to do to get that job that you thought was yours. This was me. I got a phone call the day before. Please come to Hemel Hempstead in the morning. We need to speak to you at 8 o'clock. Right, I live in Manchester. So that's a good 4-hour drive with no traffic. I was like, yes, I'm going to get that job. I left at 4 o'clock in the morning, drove down there, went into the office, got told all the well done for this, well done for that, really proud of everything that you're doing. That job, however, has gone to somebody from externally. And it was like somebody burst a massive bubble in the room. I went from elated to totally deflated. And I got back in that car and I drove, the 4.5 hours back to pick my kids up. And I sat in traffic at the end, on junction 16, and I fast forwarded in my brain. And I thought, okay, I'm 36 now. Is this it for me? Was that bad? Is this it for me? I'm taking it everywhere. It's awesome. And I didn't like what I saw. It's like, hold on a minute. I'm 36. I've worked pretty much. I've worked since I was 15 years old. I have 3 jobs through university. I worked full time in Next, the clothes shop, and then I worked full time in a nightclub. And then I went to university. I worked all the time at university, and I'd work. I'm a worker. I'm a grafter. And I got to a certain position in this company, and I thought the next level up had just been whipped out from underneath me, and I was like, is this it? Is this what I've been working my whole life for? I don't spend any time with my children. I barely see my husband. I spent my entire life on the M6. I don't even have that much money to show for it at the end of the month, because it comes in one side and it goes out the other. Is this it? And then I thought, I fast forwarded 10 years, and I want you to do it now. In your head, fast forward 10 years. What does your life look like if you don't do anything different? So that's what I did. I was like, right, I'm 46. What's different? Nothing. It's the same. Scary. Fast forward another 10 years, I'm 56. What's life like? The same. Really scary. Fast forward another 10 years. 66, and do you know what? We'll still be working. Well, we won't. But people will, at our age, will still be working, because there won't be a pension that you can rely on by the time 30 years from now, and I can probably, you can quote me in 30 years' time if I'm wrong. And that scared me, literally to my core. So I went back to John Holloway and I went, I'm ready. Like, I'm saying yes. So I want you to think about that. Like, think about, if you don't grab hold of this opportunity, if you don't share this with every single person that you meet, what is your life going to be like 10 years, 20 years, 30 years from now? And unless you like what you see, do something about it. So what is this industry that we're in? What's it all about? And I went to Las Vegas in November last year. I decided to say yes, tell the world. It cost me a lot of money. It was very impractical, but I went anyway. And it was probably one of the single best things that I did for my mindset, and I'm hoping that all of my organisation and beyond have benefited from that one decision that I made to go there, because since then I've shared as much as I can of what I learned. I was given this book by Eric Worre, and it is full of what I learned in those 3 days. And I was just saying to Scott yesterday, I said, I struggle because there's so much that I want to share with you guys. There's so much that I could tell you that I don't know what to leave out. I need to do 3 days, not 40 minutes. So I'm going to rattle through the stuff that I found the most important. And you know, it's not perfect. It's a very emotional business, isn't it? It's like, you feel it here, and you know, most business, when you join a company or get a job, you know, it's quite simple. Do this, and you get paid. This business isn't that. This business, you've got to feel it. You've got to feel it from inside you, and that'll be what drives you. Like, even talking to you now, I'm literally like that because I can feel it so much. And you get that by surrounding yourself by people who are doing it every single day. So it's not perfect, but it's way better than what I was doing before. You're probably working hard anyway, doing whatever you're doing. So those 10 years that we've just fast forward, they're going to come anyway, whether you do this properly or not. Don't be one of the people who looks back in 10 years' time and goes, what was that bird on that stage in that blue dress who said, like, oh God, it's 10 years, I haven't done anything with it. So no, it's not perfect. Don't moan about the bits that you don't like. Focus on the bits that you do like and get on with it.
Yeah. 100%.
You know, I'm a big believer in nurturing and loving people, but also, someone asked me once, I did an interview for a girl in Canada, and she went, oh, you're a great mother to your team, but you're also a great father to your team. And I was like, oh, well, I don't know what you mean, what does that mean? She went, so you're a great mother, you're a nurturer, you're a carer, you're a lover, you're a sharer, but you're also a boot up the backsider as well. It's like, oh, okay, so that's what being a father is apparently, I didn't know that. So you will need to learn new skills. Like, people sometimes think that the magic network marketing fairy or the Juice Plus fairy is going to tap you on the shoulder and you're going to be a millionaire. It doesn't work like that. You're going to have to learn new skills. If you want to be a professional footballer, you're going to have to learn how to play football. You're going to have to learn how to be better than everybody else. This is a business. It's a huge business. It's a simple business, but there are certain skills that you need to learn. So get stuck in and learn them and find out what they are. It will take time and it will take effort, but it will be worth it. Now, this industry pays out over £200 million every single day to people in the network marketing industry. 96% of the money that's generated through network marketing businesses is paid back to the distributors. You find me another business who gives back 96% of the money that they make through the product. Nobody does that. We don't need to advertise, we don't need to be on telly, because everything is done through word of mouth. It is absolutely the most genius business model that you'll ever come across. If you move to a new town and you want to join a gym, are you going to wander about and just join any gym, or will you ask around, what's that gym like, who goes there? Your kids go to a school, do you just send them to any school, or do you ask your friends, what's the good school? What's your child, where does your child go to? You're a girl, you want to go and get your boobs done, are you going to go under the knife with a surgeon that you're not recommended? No, that's what we're doing, guys. We're simply taking a product, loving a product, and sharing it with everybody that we meet. I would never buy a product just because I saw it on telly. It's very, very simple, and it is worth it. But it is going to be harder than you thought, and I can tell you this from experience. You know, people sometimes look at successful people like Scott and James and Alex and, you know, some of the guys who are really flying at the moment, and never really look at how they got to where they are. It's all about, I want what you've got. I want the big house, and I want the big team, and I want the check that you get, and I want that for you too, but you've got to look at what people do to get to where they are. You know, if you've been in the business if you're in my team anyway, you've been in the business less time than me, so look at what I did 2 years ago, look at what we do every single day now. The people who are flying in this business are working. They're in the business 24/7. 24/7, but it's not like a normal job. You can do it in the nooks and crannies of the day, but in your head, you're in it all the time. But you fit it around whatever else you're doing. And it'll be harder than you thought it was going to be, but it'll be way more worth it in the long run. I can tell you that from experience too. I joined this business to earn £200 a month to pay for my product and get my husband off my back. Within 7 months, I left my full-time job and I was earning £10,000 a month. That's not because I'm anything special, because I got on with it. I looked at the bits that I loved and I shared it with everybody that I met. And I don't, you know, and I don't say this lightly. Who's had negativity or don't do it, can't do it, shouldn't do it, it's got all of that, right? Well done for not listening, but it is still going to be there. Those people are like, you know, they're like vultures. They'll surround you until they pick you off. Please don't be one of the people who gets picked off by the people who didn't live their own dreams. You know, unless the person who's advising you not to do this business is living a life that you want to live, is driving a car that you want to drive, living in a house that you want to live in, has got the total time freedom to do the things that they want to do and all the money that they need to do it, unless the person telling you not to do this business is all of those things, what are you listening to them for? Even if they're your parents, even if they're your best friend, this isn't about time saved, guys. This is about who supports you now. So love them anyway. Don't fall out with anybody. Don't delete anybody off Facebook. You love them anyway. Do you know what? They will come round because your answer is your success. So you say, thank you very much for your opinion. I really appreciate that. I'm going to do it anyway. And the people that are closest to you, like your family, share your dreams with them, share your why with them so that they'll come with you. Even if they don't massively support you, they'll at least understand why you're doing it. But don't take advice from broke, unhappy people. Because they're broken and happy for a reason. It's the only industry where your past doesn't dictate your future that I can see. You know, you can draw a line in the sand today in this business and start again. Whatever age you are, whatever background you've got, whatever education level you've got, whatever debt you've currently got, whatever your situation is, right here, right now, you can start again and change the end. That's mega. Like, that's what you're offering people. The chance to totally change their life from today. Do you know what the catch is? People don't understand what we do. That's the only catch. I call them the It's Too Good to Be True Brigade. It's too good to be true, that. What if it's not? What if it's not too good to be true? Because look around you at the people in this room. Look around you at the people that you meet at every single conference. Look around you at the people that you can YouTube or Google or any of those things who are doing it every single day. That's the only catch, is that people don't understand what we do. If you can deal with that, if you can deal with the fact that people don't get it, you'll be a millionaire too. That is the only stumbling block that you need to really deal with. Because once you get your head around that, and you love them anyway, and you put your arms around them, and you smile, and you move on to the people who do get it, or at least are open to listening to it, then you can be a millionaire. You're in this room because you're a millionaire in the making, like the rest of us. Don't spend your time on the people who don't get it. They'll come around. And don't confuse opinion with expertise. Like, everyone, you know, Dave down the pub knows everything about everything. But Dave down the pub is still going to be Dave down the pub 20 years from now. You need to read books, talk to people, educate yourself, decide that you want a better life for you and your family. And, you know, Dave down the pub, he doesn't know everything about everything. I'm going to listen to the doctors, who tell us that Juice Plus is the most incredible product on the earth. Dr. Nigel Eccles, who tells us it's a gift from God. I'm way more going to listen to him than Dave down the pub. But what I'm trying to get across to you is don't delete those people from your life. They still matter. They're still your family. They're still your friends. As long as they're not, you know, ruining your business or slagging you off all over Facebook or whatever, then love them anyway and just get on with it. You can have all of those people in your life. 96 million people worldwide are in the network marketing profession, and over 82% of those people class themselves as happy to be in the network marketing profession. That's massive. I come from a corporate background, and I'm telling you now, 82% of us were not happy doing what we were doing. No way. But people play at different levels. I'm an all-out kind of person. I'm an in or out. I'm doing it or I'm not doing it. You don't have to be like that kind of person, but if you want to be a millionaire, and I'm assuming you're a millionaire in the making event because that's what you want, then that's what you've got to do. You've got to do what other people don't do so you can have what other people don't have. And it's as simple as that. If you do what the vast majority of people do, which is just get up in the morning, go to work for 40 years, never do anything different, live for the weekend, never have enough money to do the things that you want to do, and retire on 40% of what wasn't enough in the first place. If that's what you want to do, that's cool. No one's criticising people who do that. What we're saying is, if you want to do something different, this is it. This is a better way. It's a stone cold fact. This is a better way. It really is. But 90%, this is a key one, and I want you to really think about this, 90% of the people who join this business end up as customers, just happy customers. And that's cool. We all need happy customers. We're all happy customers. But if you want to be one of the 10% who doesn't, that's not because they couldn't do it, it's just they didn't do it. So you've got to decide whether you want to be the 10% who build a massive organisation or the 90% who love the product but don't ever do anything with the business. That's your choice. But from now on, it's up to you and me. And you've got to say that from now on, this is up to me, this is my franchise, my business opportunity, my life, my family, my organisation, my chance. I couldn't give two hoots what anybody thinks about what I do if they don't like it. Because they don't pay my bills, they don't look after my kids. They're not the ones who now are spending 50 hours a week more with their children than we were 2 years ago, me and my husband, because we don't have to work anymore. 50 hours a week more, 25 hours a week more with our kids than we were to. That is massive. That's a day a week more. Imagine the impact that's going to have on their lives long term. So do I care what anybody else thinks? Do I heck? No way. My little boy doesn't remember when we used to work. There's a video on my YouTube if you want to watch it, and basically it's me saying to Shay, do you remember when Mummy used to work? And he literally goes, no. And I was like, other people have to work, it's Wednesday. Why? I don't know. It's just the way it is. What a great gift to be able to give to the people that you love. So, but it's up to you. I can't do it for you. I'll hold your hand. I'll share everything that I know with you. I'll teach you as much as I can, but you've got to get off your backside and do it if you really want it. Don't get distracted. This was great advice I got from Alex's upline, Shay O'Brien. You know, that things will, and it was early on, I can't remember, like, I've only been in the business a few months, and he said to me, don't get distracted. I was like, by what? What do you mean? Literally like a sponge, anything. And he just went, things will come along, other things will appear, other ideas, people will want you to get involved in other businesses. This sits really nicely alongside Juice Plus, whatever. Also, negativity and drama, bin it. Any negativity, any drama in your team or in your life, don't hear it. You don't need it. Unless it's driving your business opportunity, unless it's driving your family situation forwards. Really, really just concentrate on what you're doing. Don't get distracted. And at some point, if it doesn't mean anything to you now, I promise you, you'll hear those words in your head at some point in this business in the future. Live by your dear mum. I'm not going to cover that because it's been really covered by some of the other girls, but it is really important. And this one kind of question that I do ask myself, if this is all I do today, am I happy that I built my business? This is like I said, it's your business, your opportunity. If you have a whole day and you don't do anything in your business, are you happy that you built your business? Because if you're not, get back out of bed and go and do something constructive. You've got to know what you're doing with your time. I'm going to do a Zoom call at some point ahead of the school holidays for mums, so about time management, because I'm a mum of 3 and I know how difficult it is to manage a business when you've got kids running around your ankles, but it can be done. And I'm going to teach you how to do a clock that Alex taught me that changed my business. But it's, you know, if you've got 1 hour a day, make it the best hour and know what you're going to do in that hour. In the beginning you do a lot you don't get paid for, so that in the long run you get paid for what you don't do. Bit of a mouthful, but it's a good mouthful. If you're new in this business, it can feel like you are pushing the heaviest car up the biggest hill, and it's rolling backwards, and it's really tough. And it is tough at the beginning. Nobody wants to join, nobody wants to buy the product, nobody likes me, all my friends delete me on Facebook, everybody hates what I'm doing. And you start to really question yourself. There are some things that you can do to make that better. One of them is surround yourself with people who are doing what you want to do. You don't have to physically be with them, but listen to audio clips, use YouTube, I use a podcast called MLM Nation. I listen to those guys every single day. There's about 50 different podcasts on there from successful people who will give you all of their secrets about how they've built their business. But in the beginning, it's tough, really tough. It can feel like you're on your own sometimes. And then you come to an event and you go, yes, I'm going to conquer the world. And then you go out and then someone goes, it's a scam. And you go, you've got to armour yourself for that. You've got to be prepared for that. But not only you, and this is really crucial, like the guys in this room, you get it hopefully, or you'll certainly have got it by the end. Your obligation is to make sure that the people who come into your organisation understand it too. So remember how it feels now. Write it down how you feel now. When you're afraid to take that first step, when you're afraid of everything. Fear paralyzes people. Fear stops people from achieving the things that they're capable of because they're afraid. Stop being afraid. Or embrace the fear. Do it anyway. Just do it scared, but do it. Because ultimately, that pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, you'll get that car up that hill. And it starts to get a little bit easier. It starts to reach the crevice of the hill. And you start to think, I can do this. Wow, I've got like some team and I've got some people and I've got a good check and I can do this. And you keep on going, and that's when you put your foot down and that's when you really get going. And when that car starts to go down the other side of that hill, you won't even remember how hard it was to get it up the first side of that hill. But it is tough at the beginning, and it feels like you get paid nothing for working really hard. But what you get paid for is not now, it's in the future. You get paid tomorrow for what you do in this business today. So just remember that when it's tough. So just start by whatever's going on, wherever you're up to in your business, whether you're stuck. Someone said to me, it's Hayley Phillips, I had a call for Hayley the other day. What advice can you give to people who are stuck? Like, you're not stuck. No one is stuck at a position or stuck where they are. You know what to do, you've just got to go and do it. Everything you need to be successful in this business is at your fingertips. Everything. Look at the product we've got. Look at the audience and the consumer base of the product we've got. No teeth to no teeth. Everybody in the world needs fruit and vegetables. Hardly any product has got a market of the whole world. You've got people before you who have done it, are doing it, who've shown you the way. You've just got to come down swallowing after them. There's YouTube clips, you've got a website that's given to you. You've got everything that you need. The only difference now is you and what you choose to do with all the information that you've got at your fingertips. Fall in love with it. This is really... If you're in love, or you've ever been in love, remember how it feels, when you get that heart palpitations and you're excited and you love the person that you're with and you'll spend all the time you can with that person. Fall in love with the business model, fall in love with the process, and fall in love with doing it right. And from this point forward, I don't want to hear anybody moaning about anything in this business. You've got a golden goose sat in your lap. All you've got to do is stroke it till it lays some golden eggs. That's your choice. You can get up and throw the golden goose away if you want to, or moan about it's not quite the colour that you like, or it's got one leg, or whatever. Somebody introduced you to this business opportunity. What you choose to do with it from this point forward is your choice, your decision. But you'll look back on moments like this and you'll think, I'm so glad that I made the decision to go that day. I feel sorry for everybody who didn't come today. Loads of people who have gone, it's a bit sunny, I'm not going to bother. And the longer you're in this business, the more you start to feel it, it gets even more frustrating, but you can't want it for other people more than they want it for themselves. But fall in love with it. Learn the skills, and this is really key. You don't wake up one morning really good at network marketing. You don't wake up one morning able to talk about the product ad infinitum to people. You don't wake up one morning with a massive organisation. This is about learning the things that it takes to be good long term. You can stumble through the first couple of months maybe. You might even get a few customers without really knowing what you're doing. I want to give you a little bit of advice. It's totally alright to be crap at the beginning. It's fine. Because everyone's rubbish at something when they start. So you will make mistakes, you will stumble over talking about the business model to people, you will talk about the product and get it wrong, you will probably forget to cancel an order here and there, you probably will make mistakes about the compensation plan, you probably will have a really good opportunity to sell the business model to somebody and you'll screw it up. That's just the way it is too. But you've got to practice it, you've got to learn the skills. If you can arm yourself to be able to do these things, and then practice them and practice them and practice them and practice them and practice them until you're the best person in your organisation at them. But if you're not practicing it, you're not going to get good at it. And that's the other thing. Anything you practice, you'll get good at. The more you practice something, I guarantee you, and if you tell me you practice this every single day for a year and you're still rubbish at it, I'll give you 100 quid in a year's time. It's not true. Anything you practice, you'll get good at. By practicing it, you've got to go out and do it, go and talk to people. So I'm going to quickly run through a couple of ideas to help people to do some of these things. But they're in a book called GoPro that Eric Warren wrote. It's probably the biggest selling book about network marketing that there is. It's literally how to do it. So if you haven't read it, you need to read it or at least listen to the audio. So finding prospects, I'm going to give you one tip for each of these. Finding prospects is make friends. That's probably the best tip I can give you. Go out and make some friends with people. Don't jump straight onto people and saying, like, I've got this massive business opportunity or this fabulous product. Just go and make friends with people. Introduce yourself to people, chat to people, be a people person, just love people. Because if you love people and you're positive and you're happy and you're outgoing and you're fun and you're always smiling and you're always having a good time, everybody wants to be around you. Everybody wants to hang out with you. Everybody wants to be with you. Everybody wants to do what you're doing, take what you're taking, drink what you're drinking, hang out where you're hanging out. You've just got to be the person who, when somebody wants a positive outlook in life, they go, John, you're amazing. Like, you're always fun to be around. I want to do what you're doing. So they will come to you. So go out, make friends with people, find out as much as you can about everybody that you meet, and then you wrap the product and the business around them. This is not a one-size-fits-all thing. People say to me, like, what do you say to people when inviting them? I'm like, I don't know, who am I talking to? I don't have a one-liner that I just spill out to everybody that I meet. Everybody's different. There is no point in going to an estate agent and they're trying to sell you a bungalow and you want a townhouse. You've got to find out what people want, find out what people need, and then, don't be a seller, be a problem solver, find out what people need. Look at what we've got here. We've got a product that is changed. Listen to the testimonials that we heard earlier on. Like, if that doesn't make you understand what this product can do for people, then we've got no chance. Know what your story is. You will be telling your story about how you got involved in the product and the business for the rest of your life. So know what it is. But understand how that can help other people. When you really understand what somebody needs, you've got, in this product and the business, everything that people need. People don't have enough time, don't have very good health, need more money. Juice Plus can give them all three of those things. So find out what people need and solve their problems for them. And that kind of covers inviting as well, because once you've done that, once you've laid the groundwork and made some friends, it's very simple to say to somebody, do you remember when you said you needed to earn a little bit more money for your holidays? I'm going to this event on Tuesday where, we're going to talk about how you can do that. Do you fancy coming along? Because you're referring back to something that they've already told you. You've got to be good at presenting. I don't mean standing up here, it's not for everybody, I get that. I mean presenting the business opportunity, talking about it. And do you know what? Go right back to where I started. When you feel here what we're offering people, it's very easy to present it because you're not trying to convince anybody of anything. This is an information sharing business. This is something that you feel, not something that you sell. You present the product and the business to the people that you love and care about, the people that you meet, and whether the more you find out about them, then it comes really naturally. So get good at presenting it, follow it up. I'm not great at this either. you know, it's really hard sometimes. You know, you've told somebody about it and they're really interested, and then you don't hear from them again. You're like, oh, do I chase them? What do I do? People life's busy. People are busy. You've got to follow up with people. Hi, I haven't heard from you for a couple of weeks. Just wondering, have you got all the information that you needed, or what's going on in your life? Are the kids okay? Just start reconnecting again with people, but you've got to follow up with people. It's a lot easier to follow up with somebody who you've already had a conversation with than it is to kind of start with a brand new person. So after today, go back through all your Facebook messages for the last month, 2 months, 3 months, and just chase a few people and see how they are. Don't jump on them, just ask them how they are. Promoting events and closing are really key. So, you know, most people put their hand up here and said, I invited someone, they didn't come. Promoting events is not about tagging a load of people in a flyer. It's like my pet hate. You've got to be personal with people. You've got to literally ring somebody, text somebody. I'm a great fan of texting or WhatsApping. Dead easy. Everybody replies when it suits them. But just say, I'm in your area, or this person's in your area, I think you'd really enjoy this event. Whatever it is you've already been talking about, by the time you get to promoting the event, it's simple because you already know what they want. You're just answering that problem for them, but you've got to do it. And if I said to you, when you start, right, you'll have to talk to 50 people before you even get one customer. You'd be like, okay, go out and talk to 50 people. And when you come back and say, I talked to 40 people, everyone said no, I'm like, that doesn't matter. You said, I told you had to talk to 50 people. Oh, okay. And you go back out and you talk to another 10. This is it's a numbers game. Inviting one person to an event and they say no, that doesn't matter. You work your way through a big, long line of people and you go, is it for you? No, that's fine. You go to the back. It's for you, yeah, you come with me. And you go through that line, and through that line, and through that line. And a great example of that I've got is a friend, one of my best friends, never been interested in the business, never been interested in the product. Somebody gave us some Juice Plus. She really needs it. Like, you know, when somebody really needs a product, it was like banging her head on a wall, like, oh, you really need this product. She really needs it, but not interested. Well, actually, she was interested. Her husband said no. What's all that about? Anyway, different presentation. I met her when I was up at Newcastle a couple of weeks ago. And she went, I've been taking it, you know, I've been taking the capsules. And I was like, damn, where'd she buy them from? But someone gave them to her. One of my friends didn't want them, for whatever reason. I gave them to her, and she went, she literally went, I don't feel any different, like. I've been taking it for 2 months, don't feel any different. I went, oh, right, well, that's unusual, like, you know, why not? And she went, well, I'm still knackered. Right, okay. And then she went on to detail about 12 other things that were much better. My hair's better, my skin looks loads better, I've lost a little bit of weight, I feel better, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, but they're not working, no? And she sort of looked at me and she went, oh yeah. But because she'd been focusing so much on the fact that she didn't want to be tired anymore, and that hadn't changed, that meant they weren't working. But I let her speak, I let her work it out for herself, and then I was like, are your kids still up all through the night? And she went, yeah. And she talked me through her night, and she's like, she goes to bed at 10 after doing 3 hours of ironing. What's all that about? Also another presentation. And then she goes to bed at 10, the kids are up between 10 and 2, and then they're in her bed at 4. And then she gets up at 6 and she does a 12-hour shift in a mental hospital. I was like, they're great, but you still need to sleep. So that's why you're knackered. So the point is, I promoted events to her, I promoted the product to her, I've shared everything with her, but she came around in her own time, and now she's bought the product from me. She bought the premium capsules, and she's got the kids on the child health study, and it took me 2.5 years. But I never pushed it, but I just led by example and promoted the product. Study, practice and teach, I'm nearly done, guys. Scott did tell me I could have a little bit longer, so apologies if I've waffled on. That's a bit where you're supposed to go, no, it's fine, carry on. Study, practice and teach. This is so important. Like, if you want to be good at something, you've got to study it, and then you've got to practice it, and then you've got to teach it. Okay, professional sports people will practice more than anybody else. You go to a golf tournament, Tiger Woods isn't having a lazy, leisurely breakfast. He's down the driving range first thing in the morning as soon as the cock crows. He needs to go down now, it's not as good as he used to be, but probably not the best example. But the people who are really good, look at my husband did a great example of me, assistant coach in the team or whatever it is. And the difference between him and the 5 people who were better than him was focus. He studied, he practiced his profession, and decided that's what he wanted to do. So Mike said, when they were all like, you know, going out at 15, 16, going out having a few drinks and like calling it boring, and like you you're really boring, Gary, you need to come out. He's like, no, I'm training. And he said they were all sat when they were about 17 watching some football in a pub. And Gary came on for Man United as like his first game as a, what's the word called when you bring a sub on a sub? And he said they were all like this with the pints. And that's the difference. He wasn't even the best footballer in that team, but he studied it and he practiced it. And now he teaches it. So professional people practice more than anybody else. I've talked a little bit already about fear. Really embrace the fear. I think that's the only thing I can suggest that you do, because and know that it's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be scared, because we all were when we started. I'm still scared. I still don't share this product, believe it or not, with everybody that I meet. I try to, but I walk away sometimes from the lady at the checkout in Tesco and I think, why did I not tell her about that then? I don't know what it is. But I force myself to try and be better every single day, to try and be the best person that I can be in this business. Not for me, but because I feel like I've got an obligation to do it. And being successful is a choice, guys. It's like, how much do you want it? A little bit? A lot? Do you want to be a potterer or do you want to be a millionaire? Millionaire? Anyone? Yeah? It's okay. So listen to the guys who are coming up after me. I mean, we've got, in this room, Scott, like, hats off to you, mate. You've done an amazing job pulling this together. I'm incredibly proud of what you've achieved here. It's just awesome to be able to do this. Less than 2 years in the business to pull off an event like this is incredible. So being successful is a choice, and it's a choice that Scott made. And it's a choice I want you all to make. And I'm kind of going to just close on something that I heard the other day, and it really resonated with me, which is, from this point forward, don't let anybody, in fact, say it like this, I'm not going to let anybody tell me what to do anymore. I'm not going to let anybody influence what I do in a negative way anymore. This is what I do. This is who I am, and I'm incredibly proud of it. This is who I am, this is what I do, and I am incredibly proud of it. And you should be incredibly proud of you, of the Juice Plus company, of the industry that we're in, and the difference that we are making every single day in lives of people that you'll never even meet, that you'll never even know about. From this point forward, it's up to you. So be proud, stand tall, stick your shoulders back, put a smile on your face, and go out and make a difference in your own life and the lives of everybody else that you meet, because this is a stone cold fact that this is a better way than what we're currently doing. Thank you.
Absolutely smashed it. Thanks for tuning in, guys.